All right. Hey, everybody. This is the Cryptolorian, and this is our Whale x Breezy gallery event with the famous artist, Reinhard Schmid. Uh, he is he is our friend. He is just a fantastic artist who we've known for quite some time now. Reinhard, welcome to our celebration of you. We have Reinhard here. We have Eleanor Breezy here. We have Rune and also Cartoon Advisory, both from the Whale community. This is a big event. We're going to be releasing our gallery of Reinhard, who is a vault artist at the Whale community here. So welcome everybody, and hello. How are you all doing?
Hello.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh,
wonderful. How's it going?
it's going good. So for the audience here, we have a Twitter space going. We have the Discord going. So there is a live stream you can watch in the Discord of us chatting. There's a video going, so you'll be able to see the gallery live. And we also have the gallery that you could go into and check out all of Reinhard's work. So this is I don't know what we're calling this. Eleanor, did we coin this or what?
we should patent this. You know how everyone wants to patent everything now. No, but like we're trying to solve some bridges that technology didn't solve yet. So really, like we are talking on our phones for Twitter Space, and we are unmuted on our computers, but we muted the audio of our computers so everyone can hear in the channel and in the Twitch on StreamYard. So experimenting with technology here, but I'm always very happy to. First of all, I'm always very happy when it's the end of the month and I know that I have the show with Whale community and these amazing artists. This time it's Reinhard, so of course I'm very happy. And also, like, I know that I'm gonna have some fun with this new experimentation of social platforms where to speak. The more places where to speak, the better.
It's absolutely true. Oh, and Reinhard, we're so thrilled that you're able to do this with us this month. You're definitely someone who we've been watching throughout the years. We've had a very strong working relationship, and we love your work. We love your art, and for those of you in the, I guess those are the listeners in the space. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? The art you do. And just to get everyone, take everyone on a journey of your career, if you would.
Okay. Well, first of all, a big thanks to everyone involved. I can't just say that often enough. It's so amazing the support I'm getting from the Whale community and all of you. So I'm really, really thankful for that. And of course, I love to hear that you like my work, and so it's been an amazing journey so far, and this is like a real highlight today to see this gallery. I saw it for the first time this morning, and I'm like, wow, what you guys put together there is just so amazing. So, well, about myself, there's this German artist. I know I've told this story before, but I love that quote. He said, "Don't ask an artist about their work when you have other plans for the day." So, once you get an artist started, it could just take a while. Well, most of you probably know me. I'm a painter. I've been doing traditional art for some 35 years now, and I started using computers in the early 90s, when Photoshop still didn't have layers. So I've always been interested in the computer as a tool to do my designs, my layouts and things. And then, like I said, I've been doing mostly traditional art, and in all of those years, that the final product was always a painting, because up until recently, you didn't really have a finished artwork in digital that was tradable. So all this changed with NFT, and I came into the space in 2018, and it changed a lot of things. So all of a sudden, the digital work was no longer just how should I say, a step towards a finished painting. It was a way to create a finished artwork, and so here I am with some of these pieces in this amazing gallery.
Wow, that's fantastic, and there's so much more though. There's so much more to your work. I mean, you do a lot of pieces. So you paint on glass. I've seen a lot of your different pieces throughout the years. What I describe as someone who takes a medium and really explores it, because I've seen you use, I mean, you just got into Blender recently, right? I've seen you do crazy amazing things with animation. What I always took away from your work is that you're so detailed, and you take to these mediums. I can't. It's really kind of hard to describe for me how much you put into this. I mean, you really put your soul into it, and you create these amazing experiences through these mediums. And I don't know, your level of perfectionism is really shining through for every piece. Excuse me, but maybe I'm getting choked up. but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a wonder to see you come up with a new design. Even your older work. I mean, everything to me is like, because it's like you go and you explore After Effects, right? And you take it to the next level. You go and explore Blender, and you take it to the next level, and you blend all these mediums together, and then it gets really exciting. So for me, I've really enjoyed watching your progression throughout the years. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you. Well, I think you learn as you go. Like I said, I come from traditional art, and you mentioned that I work on glass, which is a very challenging technique. It's a technique my father actually invented. He's an artist too, and he showed me the basic concepts of drawing on glass with a graphite pencil. And so you have to, you work on the reverse side of that glass, so you have to think sort of backwards, which I guess that's not the problem for me. Not thinking backwards might be, but so when you add color to such a glass piece, it's very difficult, because you're working away from the viewer. When you do an oil painting, for instance, you have the canvas, you apply the paint, and then you always add to it from the viewer's side. When you do a reverse glass painting, you add your media to the back of that glass, so you're working backwards. So you have to really think ahead. And I think this planning of how a layer is going to look, once 8 layers of paint are applied, how the whole thing is going to look, how to predict this has helped me in also working in this digital media and layering things. And one media I'm working in always has helped me do work in another one. Like glass painting has helped me improve my oil painting. Oil painting has helped me improve my glass painting. And also this thinking in 3 dimensions has helped me with Blender, which was quite a learning curve. You said I just started recently. Yes, the results came out recently, but I looked it up. I started learning in August last year, so it took me several months, to get to the point where I could create those pieces I released in early May. But I think when you have an idea and you want to do something, no matter what this is, it could be, I don't know, solve a mathematical problem or whatever, build a car, anything. I want to create a 3D artwork. Then you look for ways how you can make your vision a reality. And then it's not really difficult to learn these things because you want it. You're in such a flow that you're just kind of, you're just thirsty for the knowledge, and it's like just getting it into you so you can accomplish your task. And so I think it just happens along the way. You want to do something, so you need to find the things that will make it possible for you, and it just goes step by step. It gets its own dynamic. I don't know how to explain this in English, but I hope I'm making any sense at all here.
You absolutely are. You absolutely are. And I know Eleonora wants to, I'm sure she's waiting to to jump in.
I'm waiting.
Please.
Take it away, Eleonora.
Let me talk. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm so happy to be here. We Reinhard today. I was just telling the friends from Well community before starting this that I got in touch with Reinhard actually in these past weeks because we had an interview for a book that I'm working on, and so we had the chance to go a little deeper in what his artistic process is, like creative process, and really ideas, thoughts, inspirations, Taoism, everything, what is art, the role of an artist, and it really it really is fascinating. It's amazing. His art is when you were describing the tools that he uses, DC, really, like there's no borders to Renner's tools. It doesn't matter which tool it is. He actually explained to me that it's like a curious this curious human being that every time that he has reached the point that he wanted to reach, or like solved a problem, or like he manages to like learn to use what he wanted to learn, then is always up for the next thing. It's like never stops and never satisfied. That's why in the curatorial text that I wrote for him today, I wrote that he's that kind of traveler who doesn't stop at the Hercules columns, always goes beyond that. That's really how I see him. But also in terms of his art, I think that what's really interesting is that at a certain point, if you look and dive into his art, you understand that it really doesn't even make sense to talk about not mediums anymore, but like just opposite like dichotomies, or things and concepts that we might think that include each other. So like if it works, and you probably ask yourself, is this a vintage or it is like contemporary? Is it right? Like is it like heavy or light? You have these contradictions existing together, and somehow, and which is where the mastery really is that all these apparent contradictions exist in a very, very balanced like aesthetic harmony. So I started from one of his pieces, which is the Ballerina, Ballerina. And but the first time that I saw the piece, maybe if you want to walk towards it, because we have it in the vault collection. It's a black and white piece. And the first time that I saw the Prima Ballerina piece, I was really like, okay, so like this is
Turn around behind you. I'm sorry. I mean, DC, turn around behind you. And
there she is.
Yep.
Go behind the Olympia sculpture. There, black and white. Yeah, so the first time that I've seen this piece, which is one of the perfect examples of his art, I think. Like I thought about this being, which is a ballerina, and like probably the most elegant and light, delicate, floating being. And then I keep looking better, and I see that this, like this capability to float in the air. I noticed that she is anchored just like this base, which is mechanical structure. I really like. I like to look at the art first without reading about it, and I was like I feel the contradiction very strongly, and I'm like, okay, so it seems like it reminded me of like a music box, like a carillon. And I start thinking that it feels like she is prisoned. She's kept very heavily to the ground by these mechanisms, but that it's probably the same mechanism that keep her alive. And so, the question, like then the second question is like, okay, is she like imprisoned by this engine, or is she given freedom by this engine? And that's where you understand that this balance comes from all these opposite forces, right? So you have what the process that Reinhard himself calls Venus machine, which is this combination of female energy with more technical male aspects. Again, like as you can see depicted in some kind of machinery. And then of course you have the yin and the yang. You have the the heaviness and the lightness. You have all these opposite energies creating this tension in the work, and somehow like the final result is very peaceful and very balanced. But then when I was talking to him, I was also told by him that sometimes he tried to trick us. So for instance, he said that sometimes in the mechanisms part, he creates, and maybe then he can talk about this and he can confirm, he creates like some kind of mechanisms in his artworks that in reality they will never work. So it's almost like our eyes recognize like the for instance like the the mechanism, the engine, the way that it moves, the way it functions, we recognize it, but that our brain understands somehow that it's not something familiar. There is something wrong there. So even as I wrote, like even in this perfect balance, like in harmony that we see in the pieces, sometimes you feel disoriented, and that's when he tricks us with this with this seems possible kind of machinery, but in reality is not. I don't know if Rainer wants to say anything about this.
Well, you already explained it perfectly. It's I often, in this context, I use a very simple machine, which is a steam engine. It's just a couple pistons and this wheel. And when you look at it, you see two pistons and the flywheel. So you're like, okay, it's a steam engine. And when you draw it in 2D, you can arrange those pistons that they won't go around. But if you don't look closely enough, you won't see it. But there may be something that I call it scratches the eye. No matter how harmonious my piece is, I like to have something there that scratches the eye a little bit. That you say your brain is your eye sees it and looks at it as all right, but your brain may be irritated. So
Yes.
this is this little effect that I think creates some tension in the artwork and makes the viewer want to explore it more and find out, what is it that where is this little thing going? Where how does it work and where is it going? So yes, I like to put these little irritations in there.
for
Sometimes
the
it's
viewers.
just a joke I put in there, a visual joke, for instance. But it's always things that I like to put there to make the viewer want to see more.
Yeah, which is very, I mean, it's truly, I think that it's amazing because if we agree that the artist, can explain visually and aesthetically things, concepts that we wouldn't understand in a different way. The fact that you create this friction in the artworks, almost, it's like it's a subconsciously creating probably like a push for reflection, for like thoughts, for to think about things even without knowing, which is, it just responds to what art does. So I really like that. And also I like, because when we were talking, I asked Reinhard like about who he thinks like the artist is, like what is the role of the artist, and then he gave me this again, because he's an artist, so he gave me the physical, like visual representation of what I really wanted to say, but I couldn't say in a visual way. So he was talking about this like being this either a human being but like living being with these antennas. And so that like artists have these antennas and they capture signals all around. Can be, we were questioning if it was signals from the future or if it's signals from future, past, present, since there's not really like a limitation in time. It's just a whole continuum, and somehow filter these signals through their own filter, which is the filter of the artist, and then give back to us in a form, like in a static and visual form that we understand. And I think that we can really see that in these artworks. Also, I personally really love when I am not able to like easily put like a genre or like artistic current or artistic practice in a box, like, oh, this is like a digital art, this is physical art, this is this and that. So I really like when what I look at is very hybrid, which I think that's what happens with Rana's art. And the moment that like you're not able to understand anymore, again, like if it's okay, I'm looking at this artwork, I know that it is very digital because it is tokenized, even like on the blockchain it's an NFT, but then it really looks vintage, and probably it comes from a painting that he did on glass, or probably it doesn't. Probably it was digital before being physical because it was using digital tools to like create the model to then produce it in physical. That's what I love. It's like you don't tell me, you don't force the medium anymore. You don't put me in front of something very specific and very easy to put in a book anymore. You just put me in front of art, and you even give me inspiration for to search more, because there is something that disturbs me. So I think that Reinhard really answers the what art does. I wouldn't say what should do, because I don't know what art should do, but what art can do. And also the fact that you mentioned when we were discussing that art doesn't answer questions, but art erases questions. And I think that's very clearly achieved in his art.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And wow, what a great explanation. And I love just hearing you both talk because it's really inspiring. I'm just walking around myself, and those of you just joining us or who have been here a while, we have this crazy setup going right now. So we're actually on Twitter Spaces. We're broadcasting out to YouTube. We're also broadcasting to Twitch and Twitter at the same time. And we have folks joining us in the Discord watching. We're actually in a gallery. And yet we just put a link to the gallery. So if you want to see Reinhard's work in person, or on your computer screen, I guess is the better way to describe it. Jump in the gallery, and we are giving away a POAP that was designed by Reinhard. If you jump in the gallery and you take a screenshot, so to kind of get the instructions on how to do everything, you got to jump in the Discord. So again, there's a lot of stuff. So the more I talk about it, I'm just laughing. But if you are joining us on Twitter Spaces, definitely jump in the Discord and then follow the instructions, and we will get you that POAP for participating. But it's a fantastic POAP, and honestly, from an amazing artist. And you'll see that Rune is actually sharing some of the artwork on Twitter Spaces if you're not able to join us in Arium, if you're on your phone. So definitely check out those pieces. It's Reinhard is an amazing artist who's been in the space. Geez, how long now, Reinhard?
I think it started in summer of 2018.
Wow.
Also July, August sometime, yeah.
Wow, that is absolutely crazy. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about your journeys thus far, because I mean, 2018 is definitely the OG level of crypto art.
Okay, well, I don't know if that helps, but in the end, I think it's the art that counts. But I guess I was just lucky that I found out about it this early. It was all very different at the time. I followed a link from a friend in 2017 and joined a network that was called Steem at the time, STEEM, and it was like a blogging site, or you could post photos, whatever, and you got rewards in crypto. In their currency was Steem, so you actually got a monetary value attached to the likes. And that was nice, but what was really important for me was that there I learned a lot about crypto and cryptocurrency and all of that. And I had an interest for it, and actually I think it was back in 2013 or something. I wanted to buy Bitcoin. I'd heard about it, I found it interesting. It was very cheap at the time, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. You search the internet, and then some guy from Kazakhstan would say, well, send me the money and I'll send you the Bitcoins, and you'd never know if you'd get anything. So I had no clue what an exchange was or all of these things. So unfortunately I gave up on it. But in 2017, I learned about it. I learned how to set up a wallet, buy ETH and all of that. And then I was invited by a website, by a platform. It was called Rare Art Labs. I just looked the other day, and it no longer exists. But they were the first ones who minted some of my art, and that's where I also saw the first other artists doing this, which was Hakatao. It was the first time I saw their work, and so it was a very short thing. I mean, it was very difficult to mint things, and in the end, I ended up asking them burning the tokens because it was not really going anywhere. And shortly after that, I found a post from a friend on Steam. Twirbel is her name. She's an artist from Los Angeles. And she had minted a piece on Maker's Place. And I asked Danny, the founder, and he confirmed she was the first artist they had. So I saw that piece. I bought it. I think it was, I don't know, $15 or something. It was the first sale ever on Maker's Place. And I thought, wow, this looks interesting. So I learned how to mint something, and that's how it all started.
Wow, that's crazy to think how far we've come. I mean, Maker's Place is a pretty prominent platform now with a lot of artists.
Yes.
And you've made history, really.
Well, I think it's for me personally, it's just interesting that I made the first purchase and from their first artist. And actually, I made the first two with another friend who minted something, and then the third piece sold with mine. You can look it up. I think it's non-fungible.com. It's on record. So it's just an interesting little thing that happened, and but it has all changed a lot, since the space has evolved like this. I mean, back then they actually ask you to make something, and today I hear it's hard to even get in. So it's constantly evolving and changing. So it's going to be interesting where the journey is going to take us. But just to go back one step, you had one piece a little while ago showing here. It's called Sex Cells. It's also a drawing on a brownish background. It's a round drawing, and when you showed it, I thought, well, this is the perfect example for what Eleonora was just talking about. When she explained my concept with the prima ballerina, but with this other piece, you can see very nicely how I draw things that won't work. I don't know if you can find it again. Yes, right here.
I got so many things going on here that my computer is a bit slow, so I do apologize, everybody.
and this is exactly what Eleonora said. It started as a quick sketch, then I designed all the elements basically in Illustrator, where you can move 2D shapes around the way you want them. Then I made the drawing, then I made a digital of this drawing, and then I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if I could do a 3D piece of this? And I actually did, which turned out to be the Aurélie. This drawing is like the blueprint for that bottom piece of Aurélie. And while I was working on it in 3D, it turned out several times that the way I layered things in the drawing, it's not possible in 3D because, something is in front here in the drawing and then it disappears behind something and comes out again, but in the wrong place. You don't see it in the 2D drawing, but in 3D, you realize it's not possible this way. So yeah, these, it's just something I like to do, and like Eleonora said, I like to play with our perception, and by adding these little irritations, I think it's becoming more interesting. And I want to be the director of my work. I don't want to just throw something there and see whatever and just select something. I want it's on purpose. what I do, and so this playing with things and playing with our perception is part of that.
Yes. Very, yeah. And you mentioned also a really amazing piece that you, yeah, that I really loved already. I discovered the piece. It was December, I think, at the end of the past year. But what I wanted to ask you about Reinhard, because I don't know too much about that, the Smack Man.
Yes.
I mean, what is the concept behind? How was he born? Because it really is
Okay,
like,
you see this image right here?
yeah.
Okay, this is actually a glass painting. The base for this is a glass painting. What you're seeing here is actually a digital version of it. I put some drawing. I composed this piece of the original glass painting and a couple of drawings put on top of each other. So this is a digital artwork based on a traditional painting. And in this painting, I had this face, and when I painted it, I just wanted this like funny, absurd kind of face there. You know, this guy like, look at what I'm doing here, or just he's just there and funny in this absurd way. And when I did my first pieces on Maker's Place and Super Rare, I thought, well, this face would be nice to create some art with this, and so I took it out of this piece and put it in a new context. There is one piece in the gallery where it's a very early piece. I think it's on Super Rare, where I actually created every single frame of the animation manually. At the time, I didn't know that there was a software that can do it for you. So I created every frame of it going back and forth, and so I did several pieces with it, and so it just so happened that people knew me for this, you know, and later when I was thinking, well, what should I use for an avatar, and it just offered itself, and it just you know, it just so happened that there were more and more Smackman, and the more ideas I had, how I could put him in different surroundings. It just grew, you know. Now to the left is that piece where now it's in the middle. To the right, it's not moving here, but the original, it's the face is going back and forth, and like I said, I did every frame manually. was quite difficult. And then I discovered Adobe. Well, first it was Adobe Animate, I think, and then now I do these things in After Effects.
Wow. Yeah, and folks, we are talking about pieces that were in the space. So if you're watching on video, you can see what we're looking at. But if you're in the Twitter Spaces, we are posting a ton of different pieces that Reinhard has to the top. So definitely check that out. And also, there's a link to the gallery and Arium that you can check out as well. So you can see all these amazing pieces on your PC or your phone. So definitely check that out. Reinhard, I had a question for you because what you're saying, you know, it's funny you made the frames manually. That just cracks me up because I know how how crazy that could be. But how do you think? So you know you're an artist. You've been doing art for a really long time, and you know you've been doing different media for a long time. How do you think the NFT space has evolved? The tools that you use, because like you said, you know you started getting into Animate, you started getting into After Effects, you started getting into Blender. Has the space really determined where you're going, or something else? I'm just curious.
I think it goes back to what I said earlier. You have an idea of what you have a certain idea of what your artwork should look like, and then you're searching for the tools to get the job done, so to speak. So, I mean, of course, exchanging ideas with other artists, they would tell you, well, why do you make these frames manually? There is a software, just use that. So, of course, the interaction with colleagues, of course, helps you to solve certain problems you might have, or will help you to accomplish the task. And of course, when you look at other artists' work, it inspires you. You see something and you're like, wow, this looks really cool. Wonder how they made this. And then you start looking and trying to find out, what software did they use? I mean, for instance, a Blender has just evolved to such a incredible piece of software. It's amazing that it's still free. I have tried to learn it several times. I've made several attempts to learn it and always gave up on it. And like last summer, I thought, I really want to know how to do this. And even since then, so many new things have been added, like now the geometry nodes, where you can just do many new effects that were not possible. Well, I don't know of another way how to do it. Or for instance, this piece you're seeing here, there are these little elements in this, how should I say, outer circle. You have these little like package-like things that move up and down. And so I wanted them to move in a wave-like pattern. And in the past, I would have animated each of them individually, which would have been probably several days of work. Now with geometry nodes, you can just set the parameters, and then you have the movement within these parameters. So as the tools become more capable, you can accomplish tasks that were not possible or very difficult before. So the technology, of course, always the limitations are pushed back, as technology evolves.
That's just amazing. Question for you, Eleonora. If you took a look at this work, would you think that Reinhard had been? What'd you say, Reinhard? You started last August?
I started learning last August, and I did one thing I always wanted to do. I did a 3D version of my Smetman, and when I look at it now, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? I mean, the modeling, it's becoming more refined, and you're having less and less of these artifacts to deal with, and it just gets easier as you keep working with it. But like I said, it's been a long time to learn this, and I started with this Hallelujah machine. I think it was somewhere late last year. I did the first few things, where I was trying to get a hold of the idea and how I would put it together, and then you start just adding the different elements and things like that. So, but sorry, I think there was a question for Eleonora.
Yeah, the question is, can you believe he's only been doing it that long?
Yes, I do actually. I do. I can't believe that because he's very. I mean, I can't see him. I feel like every time he discovers something that he's interested in or can have fun with, he's probably gonna dive deep into it. And no, I mean, also what's amazing, another thing which is very amazing in all these artworks that we can see, one of the most difficult achievements for an artist is to find a style, like a recognizable style. When someone looks at some artworks and they know that it's you. But then after the first achievement, the real difficult part is to keep evolving, maintaining a style, which doesn't mean like without repeating yourself. I mean, that is very hard. It means that if we all know because you are like if we all know you because you're drawing butterflies, then at a certain point, if you just keep drawing butterflies in the same way, it means that the art and the artist is not experimenting, evolving together with the art, and so together with the viewer, and so together with the world and life and more. But then if sometimes it's like a little bit harder to recognize style because the artist's research keeps growing, but still in the deep, like the very deep of it, you can have a glimpse that tells you that that is the artist. So I think that is one of the most amazing things that I see in Reinhard's art. I keep saying heart because there is an H inside the name, but then I understand that heart and art, it's like it's two very beautiful words. So whatever. In Reinhard's art is exactly this. It's you can certainly understand that it's his art. But if you put together all these pieces, there's no one single work besides, of course, the Smack Man, but that's an invented character. That's different. Which repeats itself. The research keeps evolving or devolving. I mean, who knows? It's part of the path of a person. So really taking us through a journey through the art, like pushing us to discover more. And in the meantime, it's almost like a mother. And then in the meantime, like letting you feel comfortable. It's like you're still me. That's I give you like a little hint to understand that it's still me, my art. So I really love this, and I think that there are very few artists achieving this, especially because it's very hard to fall in the trap of starting to be comfortable and not pushing the research anymore. And I think that he does that very well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I agree 100%.
Thank you very much.
I need a turn. I need a turn.
Okay. Let me intro you, Rune. So first off, you're gonna take your mute off of the video.
You're right. I got it.
Okay, cool. So I just want to take a few seconds to introduce Rune. So Rune and Cartoon have been working really, really hard on the gallery that you're seeing or not seeing if you're on Twitter Spaces. But if you get a chance, please go in the gallery because it's just absolutely amazing. And this gallery, will be here, until the end of time, I guess. As long as Arium exists, this gallery will exist. So definitely check it out. And Rue, why don't you and Cartoon, if you wouldn't mind unmuting, why don't you both discuss the gallery and and any other thoughts you might have or questions.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. And I have to first say Reinhard was one of the first artists that I worked on when joining Whale. I'm part of the Ariella that he dropped. And that piece actually introduced me to his work. And I literally just posted this and it pinned into the space. But the fact, the intricate details of the ballerina, the clockwork underneath, the fact that you made your own music and sound effects and everything to go for the piece blew my mind. And I at that moment, I was like, "Geez, I gotta check out the rest of this guy's stuff." And I literally, as I said in the tweet, I went down a rabbit hole and checked out like all of their work, not just the pieces owned by the Whale Vault, but also all of the other pieces that are out there that you have on Maker's Place, and just seeing your growth since then even has been absolutely wonderful. Those 3 pieces on Nifty Gateway were just great. And the fact that you show the behind the scenes with little screenshots of what's coming or what you're working on has always been one of the main reasons why you've been one of my top artists in the space, because of the fact that you're so open, you're so humble, and also at the same time, you're willing to connect with your collectors and also your audience equally. So yeah, making this space was a ton of fun. This month has been very, very challenging for both Cartoon and I, in regards to our own personal health and also, family obligations. But we actually spent quite a bit of the time that we were down and out being sick working on this and collecting pieces for this, and also getting the models ready for it. The space, we wanted that fun ballerina like grand hall going type of atmosphere. And actually, one of the things that I need to get fixed that I haven't been able to get fixed because we're working with the area and everyone listening, if you are listening with headphones or if you have speakers on, you might want to turn it down just a little bit. I'm not too sure how it's going to translate on your guys' end in volume. So I want to play the background music that once it's fixed, will be playing in this space. So I'm going to see here. I don't know if anyone can hear it.
No.
You guys hear me? Nope. And that's fine. It's a I'll go ahead and once it gets fixed, I'll go ahead and put it back on there. But it's a music box, but it's a music box piece that has been slightly altered, making it just not really eerie, but not really I don't know how to explain it. It's very nice. It fits the space absolutely perfectly. So I was kind of bummed when it wasn't working, and so I definitely. I mean, not everything happens according to plan. So this space took quite a lot to put together, and Cartoon and I wanted to do more. We wanted to do so much more. But Cartoon, if you want to go ahead and say something else.
I totally think, but I just want to like always so much fun working with Reinhard. He is an absolute gem. Like he's always got so much love to share, so much positivity to spread. He's just so awesome. And then as well, like it's really crazy to hear that he just kind of recently, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hang on, can you unmute yourself from the video? Sorry to cut you off.
It's the good old double stream thing we get. Good old double stream.
In the stream.
I am muted in the screen.
No, yeah, unmute yourself.
There you go. Yeah, so like I was saying, Reinhard's is so awesome. You know what I mean? He's just got so much love and so much positivity to share. It's honestly really crazy to hear that, in the span of his career, Blender and 3D is like something that is just recently kind of being brought into there, because looking at the models that he sent us for the gallery is amazing. You know, it's immaculate work. He's always, putting in 150% effort into what he's doing. It's a really fun getting to work with him, and it's always a blast getting to experiment around with his pieces and just adding them into the space and things like that.
What's awesome also is the sheer. Hold on, let me
Okay, there we go. Goodness gracious, juggling both of these is crazy. No, but the seeing these pieces on the web. I mean, we've all seen pieces in Maker's Place, Coffee Gateway, Super Rare, and even in OpenSea, but you don't actually get the scale sometimes of these pieces, and actually the fact that one of these pieces actually gave me such a hard time because I was not anticipating the sheer size of it until I brought it into the space. And DC, if you're able to, go ahead and go out to the main space. I don't know, yeah, if you can here. Let's see. And then, okay, then go ahead and you're I want you to go outside. So if you're able to move, I don't know if you're able to move because it looks like your system is being hogged down.
I'm getting right.
Yeah, that's the back. That's the back. But anyway, out if you are in the space, the backs, the front of it, which I will head to now. I was flying. Yes, I do have a little bit of an ability, but I've been but I went to going to the front entrance where a lot of people are. You'll see the submarine, the yellow submarine, which was one of his most recent nifty pieces, the gateway pieces. But there's the other one to the right of it called Thoughts Are Free, and when I put that in the space, I was like, wait a minute, where did this thing go? Where did this thing go? And I was like, I have it down. It's lower. It's not appearing anywhere. And then I realized, holy crap, this thing is touching the ceiling. It was super large, and I could not make it look right anywhere within the building that we have. So I was like, you know what? I'm putting this thing outside. And so I gave some friends next to it. But that's one example of that SR3. When you look at it on Maker's Place, yeah, you have to scroll down the page a little bit, but you don't understand the sheer enormity of it until it's like stood out. And honestly, this is like conformed down quite a bit. So I loved it. I absolutely thought it was great. And then with it being out here kind of with the background of the space, so it almost was like it was meant to be that. But yeah, there were so many other things that I just wanted to throw around here and there, and we really went held back when it came to the amount of work that we wanted to display. So yeah, we had to we ran out of space. So yeah, this is a good one. And of course, you got your SmackDown around. Really good.
Absolutely. Reinhard, what are your thoughts? I'm just curious, looking at the space, checking it out, what are your thoughts?
Oh, like I said in my post, I'm speechless. I had no idea what to expect.
I think your audio is low.
Okay, you hear me now?
There we go.
Well, I guess that was symbolic, that my microphone was off because I was saying I was speechless when I saw it.
Very symbolic.
And it's just so amazing, and also how everything is so, how should I say, the composition of the pieces and how everything is balanced and how it's arranged, how the lighting of the background image. You just explained to me how you had adjusted to make it fit everything, and that coin, the one turning and the other one running around the whole gallery. It's just, these things are so in harmony with my work. So it's almost like a dialogue between us three. How should I say it? It's like a collaboration almost. That is an artwork in itself.
Yeah, and I have to say that I was kind of disappointed in myself only for the simple respect in cartoon actually talked me down from this. I wanted to make some gears and stuff and make it like some engines in the top in the sky or something going on in the background. But I was like, no, I'm going to do a disservice because there's no way I would be able to replicate that. So I'm not good enough with the 3D modeling or anything like that yet to do it. But what I wanted to say was everything from the color of the actual building, the one that's being cast on it, the color of the water, the color of the box that we have. We needed to tailor it directly for you because you have a lot of pieces that all of us love. And the colors are really what stand out a lot. For us, at least, Cartoon and I, there was this watercolor was literally probably like 30 different colors before we finalized. The skybox, the skybox itself was a little too blown out for our liking at first, and so Photoshop helped out with that, and even the lighting of the coin and the art pieces themselves is a light little blue cast light, and on the coin it goes a little bit dark to showcase the shadows with an orange spotlight on it. I wanted to make and cartoon as well. And cartoon, my goodness, the fact that he could push some of this stuff out as quickly as he did, absolutely amazing. And so we wanted to represent you as closely as possible within this space. And let me tell you, I was a bit nervous on how you were going to respond. Not because, knowing you, I know that you're a great person and that you would have loved it, and it makes me feel so much better too. But it's cartoon and I that would both. We like, we hope he likes this, babe. Let's do it like this. Let's put this piece here. No. Let's move it around to next to this one. So that's just what goes into it behind the scenes as well.
Well, big compliments to the both of you, and like I said, everything how it is arranged and how you place that sticky figure in the center, and how you use the materials, and like you said, you place this one piece outside, and as far as the 3D pieces, I know you'd asked me to provide some 3D models, and I had a hard time exporting it, and like that goldfish is such a huge file. it takes forever to open on my computer, so I was wondering. I'm actually not surprised that it's. I guess it was just too big of a file to put in there, but then again, I think showing it that goldfish in this little micro movie at the entrance, I think works very, very well. Probably even better than having it as a 3D model, because this way that central figure, that Olympia that is in the middle, really gains its strength, and the other 3D elements sort of rotating around it, like almost like planets around this little sun in the center, and then all of this the artwork in between. It's perfect.
Yeah, the goldfish was a little too large for my internet. My internet was actually terrible. But as far as when we were
violent.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I had it running. I didn't know it was I wanted to say this also because the goldfish was one of the first researchers we had to get and it was I was like, yep, I'm gonna have to get these creative this. You know, looks great as large next to
And inspiration.
Yes, just that corner is so beautiful.
It's so great. So it works so good together.
Absolutely. And then also with Eleonora's text, you know, I actually read it like 3 or 4 times, and then like, wow, I couldn't have said it any better myself, you know. So it's I see this as a big compliment of all of you, you know, when I feel understood like this. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's like it's a big compliment for an artist when he sees that people understand what you're doing, and it also inspires them to do something, because I think a piece of art is not just what you create, it's also what you perceive and what it does to the viewer. And so, you know, it's not just an isolated thing by that one person that creates it. It's actually insignificant as long as nobody perceives it, be visual or musical or text or whatever. It has to be perceived by another person and do something with them, and then it becomes the art. And this is what I'm seeing here.
No, and I mean, going off of that too, and going like back to what we were saying too, like you have such a unique aesthetic and such a unique style that this was a really fun gallery to put together with Rune, just because, you know, thinking about all of your pieces and, you know, all the colors that you use, like it certainly wasn't like the typical gallery that we usually put together. And I mean, you being a 3D artist as well is a huge contribution and a huge help to what we're doing as well. So, and yeah, I mean, like Rune said, you know, we had bigger plans on our plate, but unfortunately, some of the files were a little bit too big. But it's like what I was saying, man. Like your work is just so immaculate, and you put so much detail into your work that it's hard not to have, you know, these gigantic files, even if they're just the singular submarine or the singular fish or whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for coming in, and thank you so much to Reinhard for everything that you've helped us out with and for being so awesome.
Well, like I said, I think it is perfect as it is, and you know, it has happened to me when sometimes I was working on a painting and I had plans to add more, and then for some reason I couldn't, and then I realized this was meant to be. It really, without this extra piece that I originally wanted to add, it's actually better. So I think in this case also, it just happened to turn out perfect. So, you know, what more could you want?
Yes, absolutely.
We're also growing with Arium a ton too. Like Arium is also developing, and then we're also growing with them and kind of helping them out as we grow and they grow. So, I mean, this is also helping them out a ton as well. You know what I mean? So next time around, maybe we'll be able to add some more 3D stuff, and you know, we'll be able to add some more cool stuff in there for sure.
All right. So just to reset the room a bit, we actually are going to go disconnect from all the other devices. But if you don't mind, Reinhard, Eleonora, and folks, do you want to stay on for another 5 to 10 minutes and answer questions from the audience?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. There are some questions, from the chat channel.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to bring them up, but I do want to because you won't be able to hear them on the the YouTube and the
That
and all
is
that.
true.
So what we'll do is we'll close off this show. So yeah, just to recap everybody, we're broadcasting from basically everywhere on the interweb. Maybe this is the future of Web3. I don't know. We have a gallery. If you go in there and you take a screenshot of yourself in the gallery and check out Reinhard's amazing work. Also, there's work posted to the Twitter space as well, so go check that out. And if you're in the Discord and you go to the what we're calling the POAP Claim 2 channel, post a screenshot of yourself in that in the gallery, then you will be able to basically get a POAP designed by Reinhard. So please do that, and please enjoy Reinhard's work and follow him on Twitter. And it's quite the amazing artist. So man, it's just great to have everybody here listening and watching. And we have quite the viewership in Discord right now, and also on Twitter. So that's amazing. So thank you all for coming. And any final words before we cut off the video and we start taking some questions from the audience here?
Final words for the stream.
The live stream, yes.
The live stream. Really, thank you everyone for coming. As usual, I personally really care about our end of the month appointment. Today we had a very good one, as you can understand from our work, from all of us in the work community. We were talking about customers. We were like, who should we do this month? We have an artist, and then we were all very unanimously towards picking Reinhard. I was like, this month is gonna be amazing. I was like, yes, my Instagram is gonna look so good this month because I trust the works twice a week. So when you guys said, we're very happy that you were here. Thank you for coming, and of course, thank you, Reinhard, and the artist has been very special. I don't have any more compliments to add to Reinhard's art. I said them all, but it was very special. Thank you for coming. I will continue with some great questions that I've seen in the panel on Discord. And I think, I guess the only thing that I would like to add is that something that I did at the end of my text. The content is not casual. It comes from a conversation that I had with Reinhard. And we were talking about, he said something that made me laugh, but also think a lot. It was like, I believe in life before death. And also we were talking about Taoism and the fact that there is no space and no time, and probably we exist as a drop of water, and after and then I didn't write the word, but I just put the sound of the drop. We are probably going back to this ocean, and so it's not that we don't exist anymore. It's that we don't exist as individuals, but we exist in the ocean. So I think this is also a very good understanding for us as individuals, only existing as such in the community. So it can be a drop and can be the ocean and can be in the community. And with that, I will leave you in peace.
Wow, that is beautiful. Beautiful. Reinhard,
I see you're muted.
That's That's awesome.
Thank you.
I see your avatar moving, so I know you're talking.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome, and that is absolutely beautiful, and I love that you described it that way, and I love the sound effect. Fantastic. Reinhard, do you want to say a few words before we cut the broadcast off and take some questions?
Well, I can just thank everyone, for this really special honor for choosing me for the Artist of the Month, and I thank everyone involved with building the gallery. Rune and Cartoon Advisory, you did an amazing job putting this together. Thank you to Eleonora for all of this support, for understanding and liking my art this way and the way you explain things. Thank you, the Cryptolorian. It's hard to say for me as a German. Thank you for your ongoing support. It's been great working with you on so many occasions. So a really, really big thank you. And thank you to the audience for being here. And if you have any questions, yes, please ask me. I'm very, how does one say, approachable. So, I'm just one of you. So if you want to know something, or if I can help you in any way, just send me a message or ask here, whatever is the best way for you. And I'll try to be there and do whatever I can.
Awesome. Thanks, Reinhard. And thanks, everybody, again, for watching this stream. We're going to cut off. We're going to head over to Twitter Spaces. So if you are watching, you're not in the Twitter space, you won't be able to hear all the cool questions that we ask Reinhard. So you should go and meet us over there. And we will post the info right into the stream text and Discord. And we'll see you there. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And off to the spaces.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.